Alright, welcome to a long-term review of Samsung Galaxy Buds. I've purchased this 3 months. It's not really long-term. So 3 months I think is a good enough time to review an item. So Galaxy Buds, I've got them 3 months ago, the black colored. I first got a white colored one. They look pretty good too, but they're not very discreet. They look like smaller iPods. Apple AirPods. They look like smaller AirPods, so I didn't really like the color of it, so I returned it for also other issues as well. And I got this item. So how have they fared in the last 3 months? I put a good cover on it. The case looks really small, and this cover actually helps reduce the scratches. It's for I think 10 bucks Canadian on Amazon. It's actually pretty nice. It worked out well for me. And also opens up easily. Box. Okay, so first things first. What are the good things about this? Number one, convenience. Why is it so convenient? Because you can see that they're quite small and they go in the ear very easily, and you can put these side buds on, or side railing, rubber railing on these buds to make them more secure, or you could take them off if you're not using them for gym use, if you're only using them in the office for podcasts. So the convenience factor is the first thing that I like about this, and then they're very comfy. The second thing is that they're very comfy to have in the ears. You don't have any ear fatigue after wearing these for hours on end sometimes. And so there are other earbuds, they seem or they feel like they're stuck in your ear. They block out a lot of noise, and so they don't feel really comfortable, and then an hour later you want to take them off. But these, you could have them for 2 to 3 hours on end and you could not feel anything. You'd sometimes feel like there's nothing in your ear, to be honest. So that's the second one, comfort. What's the third thing that's good about it? The battery life. Out of all the wireless earbuds out there, out of the good ones or the branded ones like the Samsung, Apple, Bose ones, these are up there with the best battery life for just the buds. I'll get onto the case a little bit later. So the buds themselves have 6 hours of battery life once charged to 100%, and that's the timing is pretty accurate. 5.5 to 5 to 6 hours depending on the usage. Sometimes 5 hours if you have them on full volume and if you use ambient mode quite a bit along with it. So I would say the battery life, number 3, is pretty good. Number 4, the price on it. So for the quality, for the convenience, for the comfort, and for the battery life that they're given, I think the price on these buds is actually pretty decent. I bought them for $199 Canadian, whereas the Bose ones would be $250 Canadian, even though they have a lag issue with most of the Netflix and YouTube apps. 1 second lag, which kind of irritates me because I want to use this for listening to videos. So this one, number 5, coming to that, there is no lag between video and audio for apps like YouTube and Netflix, so you can go ahead and use them for videos without any lags. And there's a lot of earbuds out there that cost more than these and have a lag. I could give one example. There's a Sol Republic. I've had an issue with those. I've used the Bose wireless earbuds. I've had a 1 second delay with those. Now I think with the recent update, the the delay is reduced, but it's still evident. And then I'm assuming that Apple ones don't have any lag because none of my friends complain about it who are using Apple AirPods. Anyway, that would be number 5. There's no lag. And then now let's go a bit about the cons or the disadvantages for this product. Number 1, I would say the battery life on the case itself. So if you see the case is quite small, but it's not that small that you would think it only gives 6 hours of battery life. Apple is able to give it, and in a similar sort of a casing, I think Apple gives around 10 hours or 11 hours of battery life from the case, whereas this one only gives you 6 hours. So you're once you charge this, it'll only give you 1 more life for the earbud. So you gotta keep charging them. In a week, I typically charge them for 2 to 3 times, whereas when I had the Bose earbuds, I would only charge them once in a week because they had around 15 hours of battery life, or around 10 to 15 hours of battery life on the case itself. so that was quite good, and I would only charge them once in a week. But these I end up charging them for 2 to 3 times depending on the usage. And then coming to another disadvantage is the sound itself. It's not really a disadvantage, to be honest, because I've compared the AirPods with these, and these sound a little bit better than the AirPods in the sound quality department, but they're not up there with the best like Bose or Solid Republics. These two are some of the best sounding earbuds. So if you're not really a big audiophile, I don't think you'd mind it, but that's there. And so number 1, battery life. Number 2, the sound. And number 3, I would like to talk a little bit about the ambient mode. And you know, it's a good feature to have, and a lot of earbuds these days seem to have as well. But the problem with that ambient mode is that it doesn't really function that well. Honestly, I don't feel that it's very useful on these. I've tried the Jabra Elite 65Ts, and they have one of the best ambient modes, but that could be to do something with Jabra making hearing aids. So they're quite ahead in that technology, and they could so the hearing aids work like this. They also have mics outside of those devices, and they pick up noise from the outside, what the ear can't. Similarly, these are supposed to work in a way that they have microphones outside, they pick up noise much more than what you would be able to hear. But on Samsung's, I don't think that they function the best. So I'd say that the disadvantage is not a huge deal breaker to me, because I don't use ambient mode as often, so I'm fine with it. Some people might use it more than others, so they might have an issue with it. I think I forgot to in one advantage to the earbuds, Samsung earbuds, is their app. Just look at that. So the app here has a lot of functions. A lot of other big earphones, like I mentioned with the Bose, the best sounding ones, and then the Solid Republics, the really good sounding ones, they don't have good apps to back their earbuds with. But Samsung, though, on the other hand, is very, very advanced in that department. So you could see the battery life on both these. You could you have an equalizer, you have these settings that you could play around with, and then you have notifications. You can manage notifications on the earbuds that you get, and the touchpad. You can also choose what the touchpads do. Currently what I have is left one, I hold it and it gives me an ambient mode, and the right one gives me Google Assistant, which I quite often use. But you could change that to have volume controls on them. So it's a sacrifice, but you know, it depends on what you use the most, I guess. And I like to reach out to my phone for volume anyway, and I have my phone in my pocket all the time, and then I can sense the volume controls from the outside without removing the phone. So I'm comfortable with just having the ambient and Google Assistant on it. So that's what I say another advantage to Galaxy wearables or Galaxy Buds is. Other than that, the rest of the advantages and disadvantages speak to themselves. And for the price that Samsung offers them, $199, I think they'll go on discount this Black Friday. Be sure to pick it up, because these are one of the best earbuds out there. So the earbuds in general, like on an average, these are one of the best, because they're not the best sounding earbuds, but they're really good sounding. They're not the best at ambient mode, but the feature kind of works. Like the Jabra Elite 65Ts are the best, but then these also do the job, but not as well. These have a really good app, like the Jabras, but not as worse as the Bose and the Sol Republics. These have good battery life on the buds, 6 hours, on par with Bose, on par with Apple AirPods and others. Much better than some of the earbuds that are offering 3 to 4 hours only. And so for the price, for the app, for the battery life, for the sound, and for the convenience and the comfort, I would say this is a really good buy. And in the 3 months that I've had this, I've had no issues whatsoever. The only issue that I had was when I am padded up in the winter. Since 2 or 3 weeks, the place where I'm in Canada, it's been getting cold, and so if I wear 3 or 4 layers and my phone is in my pocket, and the 3 layers are covering the pocket, and then I turn sometimes to the left or make a quick turn, sometimes I hear some distortion, but it's really quickly adjusted when I turn again right to the right. But that's the only gripe that I have, but the rest of the features work really well. And if you have S10 or S10 Plus, you get that free anyway. But if you don't have the Samsung phones, and if you have like something like an Android phone, like a Pixel or like a OnePlus or Huawei, these are a really good buy. So I give a thumbs up to this product, even for 3 months after usage. I'd say go for it. Thanks for watching the review. Be sure to click like and subscribe.